How to practice English. Mia dreamt of fluent English, picturing herself effortlessly conversing with people from across the globe. Yet, a silent struggle persisted. Despite years of studying grammar rules and vocabulary lists, forming coherent sentences felt like navigating a dense, unfamiliar fog. She often wondered how to practice English effectively, and felt overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the task ahead. Her confidence was barely a whisper. The thought of how to speak with people sent shivers down her spine. Fear of making mistakes, of sounding foolish, paralyzed her whenever an opportunity arose to utter a single English word. She admired those who could engage freely, wishing she possessed their innate courage. Her silence became a self-imposed barrier, hindering any real progress despite her deep desire. Mia had diligently followed conventional advice on how to learn English. She devoured textbooks, completed online exercises, and spent hours listening to language learning apps. Her notebook overflowed with neatly written phrases and verb conjugations. Intellectually, she understood much, but the gap between knowing and doing felt insurmountable, a chasm she couldn't bridge alone. Progress felt agonizingly slow, like treading water without advancing. She could read articles and comprehend basic conversations, but her own voice remained locked away. The vibrant, living language she encountered in movies and songs seemed miles beyond her reach. This stagnant feeling was disheartening, leading her to question if she was truly capable of achieving fluency. Then came a very interesting story that reshaped her perspective entirely. She stumbled upon an old recording of a renowned author delivering an impromptu speech. The author, not a native English speaker, spoke with such passion and clarity, captivating the entire audience with effortless command. Mia was mesmerized, not just by the content, but by the sheer linguistic prowess. The author's voice resonated deeply within Mia, a profound realization taking root. It wasn't about perfect grammar or an impeccable accent, it was about connection, about conveying meaning with conviction and confidence. The performance was raw, authentic, and incredibly powerful. This experience ignited a spark, a belief that true communication transcended mere linguistic accuracy. Mia understood then that the author wasn't just knowing English, they were using it, breathing life into every word. This revelation was a turning point. Her previous passive learning methods, while foundational, lacked the dynamic engagement necessary for true fluency. She needed to move beyond absorption and start actively participating, embracing the language as a living tool. The fundamental question crystallized in her mind: why you should practice speaking. It wasn't merely about perfecting pronunciation, it was about building muscle memory, internalizing sentence structures, and overcoming the psychological barriers that silence imposed. Speaking was the bridge between theoretical knowledge and practical application, the essential missing piece in her journey. She grasped that passive intake, though valuable, wouldn't unlock her voice. Speaking forces the brain to retrieve, formulate, and articulate, strengthening neural pathways for language production. Without consistent speaking practice, her linguistic knowledge would remain largely dormant. This profound insight compelled her to reevaluate her entire learning strategy, focusing on active output. Her first courageous step was to start talking at home. Mia began small, describing everyday objects around her apartment in English. "This is a blue mug. It's warm." She narrated her actions. "I am opening the window. The breeze feels cool." It felt awkward initially, like talking to an empty room, but she persisted, embracing the solitude for practice. She imagined conversations, playing both roles, meticulously crafting responses. This solitary practice allowed her to experiment with vocabulary and sentence structures without the pressure of an audience. Her bedroom became a safe linguistic laboratory, a space where mistakes were lessons, not embarrassing failures. This consistent, private monologue built a crucial foundation for future interactions. The initial awkwardness was immense, and her inner critic often scoffed at her hesitant pronunciation. Yet, Mia pushed through, understanding that discomfort was a sign of growth, not failure. She recorded herself, then listened back, cringing at first, but slowly identifying areas for improvement. This self-assessment became an invaluable part of her daily routine. Using a mirror became a surprising ally in her home practice. Mia would speak directly to her reflection, observing her mouth movements and facial expressions. This visual feedback helped her refine articulation and develop more natural intonation. It transformed the isolated practice into a surprisingly interactive experience, boosting her confidence in speaking aloud. Parallel to her speaking efforts, Mia committed to intentionally listen and practice. She stopped passively consuming English content and started engaging actively. Every podcast, every movie, became an opportunity to dissect language, to understand natural speech patterns and nuances. This shift from casual listening to analytical listening proved incredibly transformative for her. She specifically sought out content designed to improve, how to improve your listening skills. British English podcasts became her daily companions, their varied accents and rapid speech initially challenging, then increasingly comprehensible. Mia would repeat phrases, trying to match the rhythm and intonation, mimicking native speakers until the sounds felt more natural on her tongue. Her ear became finely tuned to the subtle differences in pronunciation, the flow of connected speech, and the typical stress patterns of English words. She learned to discern meaning even when words were spoken quickly, or when slang was used. This deliberate, active listening dramatically improved her comprehension and prepared her for real conversations. Mia recognized that, how to improve your listening skills wasn't just about understanding words, but about grasping context, emotion, and implicit meanings. She practiced predicting what speakers might say next, and summarizing what she heard. This active engagement transformed listening from a passive reception into a dynamic, interpretive skill essential for fluid communication. With her foundation strengthened, the next formidable challenge loomed: how to talk with anyone. The idea of conversing with real people, where she couldn't rewind or replay, was daunting. Her inner voice whispered doubts, but the memory of the inspiring author fueled her resolve. She knew this was the ultimate test of her progress. She explored online language exchange platforms, initially hesitant, but driven by her newfound conviction. The anonymity offered a degree of comfort, allowing her to take tentative steps into real-time conversation without the immediate pressure of face-to-face interaction. She knew exposing herself was crucial, even if terrifying at first. Mia specifically searched for partners interested in Let's Talk in British English, fascinated by its unique sounds and expressions. Her first few video calls were a blur of nerves and stuttered sentences. She often forgot words, or mixed up tenses, but each time, she pushed through the discomfort, determined to articulate her thoughts. To her surprise, the community was incredibly supportive. Fellow learners shared their struggles, and native speakers offered patient encouragement, correcting gently and providing alternative phrases. This welcoming environment slowly chipped away at her ingrained fear of judgment. She discovered that most people were genuinely keen to help, not to criticize her mistakes. Each successful conversation, no matter how short or simple, became a small victory. Mia learned to embrace mistakes as valuable feedback, not as personal failures. The more she spoke, the more effortlessly words flowed, and the less she self-corrected in real time. Her mind started to think directly in English, bypassing translation. Gradually, her online conversations extended beyond structured exchanges. She found herself engaging in spontaneous discussions about current events, hobbies, and cultural differences. The ability to how to talk with anyone was no longer a distant dream, but a burgeoning reality. Her confidence soared with every meaningful interaction she managed. She even joined virtual book clubs and online gaming communities, where English was the primary mode of communication. These informal settings provided natural opportunities for casual conversation, forcing her to adapt to different speaking styles and speeds. Mia was not just practicing, she was genuinely living in the language, thriving within it. The transformation was remarkable. Mia, once paralyzed by shyness, now initiated conversations with enthusiasm. Her fluency wasn't perfect, but it was functional, authentic, and effective. The initial, painstaking efforts of "start talking at home" had paid off, building the internal strength needed for external interaction and connection. Her "listen and practice" dedication had sharpened her ear, enabling her to follow complex discussions and respond appropriately. She could now pick up on subtle cues, understand varying accents, and truly engage in the rhythm of natural conversation. Her comprehension skills were now as robust as her emerging speaking ability. Mia's improved "how to improve your listening skills" meant she rarely felt lost in conversations anymore. She could understand jokes, sarcasm, and nuanced opinions, making her interactions richer and more enjoyable. This deep understanding also fed back into her speaking, allowing her to respond more thoughtfully and appropriately to others. Her journey proved that why you should practice speaking isn't just theory, it's the very engine of progress. Active engagement forces you out of your comfort zone, solidifies your knowledge, and builds the confidence required for true communicative competence. It transforms passive knowledge into dynamic, usable language skills. Mia now passionately shares her very interesting story with others who struggle. She encourages them to abandon perfectionism and embrace the messy, iterative process of learning through doing. Her own transformation is a testament to the power of consistent, brave practice, inspiring many to take their own first steps. Her advice is simple: don't wait for perfect conditions or the ideal moment. Just begin. How to practice English starts with commitment and a willingness to make mistakes. Every word spoken, every sentence uttered, brings you closer to your fluency goals. The journey is made by taking those crucial initial steps. She emphasizes that finding your personal, how to learn English, strategy is vital. For her, it was a blend of solitary practice and brave social interaction. Identifying what resonates with your learning style and consistently applying it will accelerate your progress and make the entire process more enjoyable and sustainable over time. The specific choice to focus on "Let's talk in British English" added a distinct flavor to her fluency. It allowed her to immerse herself in a particular accent and set of idioms, giving her speech a consistent and recognizable quality. Specializing, even slightly, can deepen your understanding and conversational comfort. Mia's story became a beacon for countless aspiring English speakers. They saw in her journey the tangible proof that perseverance triumphs over initial difficulties. Her example demonstrated that even the most daunting goals become achievable through consistent, incremental effort and a positive attitude towards the learning process. Her experience underlined the profound truth: language is for communication, not just for study. The joy of connecting with new people, understanding different perspectives, and expressing her true self in a foreign tongue was the ultimate reward, far outweighing any initial fear or embarrassment she once harbored. Mia, the once shy learner, now felt empowered to travel, confident in her ability to navigate new places and converse with locals. Her English proficiency opened doors to international friendships and exciting cultural exchanges, transforming her personal world and broadening her horizons beyond anything she had previously imagined possible. Professional opportunities also expanded exponentially. Her enhanced English skills made her a more competitive candidate for international roles, and she found herself collaborating with colleagues from diverse linguistic backgrounds. This new capability wasn't just about language, it was about global access and increased career mobility. Her confidence spilled over into other areas of her life. The bravery she developed in tackling a challenging language extended to her professional projects and personal pursuits. She learned that overcoming one significant hurdle often builds the resilience needed to face many more, fostering a stronger, more capable self. Mia's story is a compelling reminder that the true measure of English proficiency lies in one's ability to use it effectively, not just to understand it passively. Active practice, especially speaking, is the catalyst that transforms latent knowledge into fluent, natural communication, bridging the gap between theory and practical application. It highlights that, how to speak with people, is where the real learning happens. Classroom exercises and app-based drills provide the tools, but authentic interactions sharpen them. Embracing conversation, even with initial stumbles, accelerates your progress exponentially and embeds the language more deeply within your cognitive framework. The journey from hesitant whispers to confident conversations isn't linear, nor is it without its frustrations. There will be days of doubt and moments of struggle. However, Mia's experience teaches us that these challenges are merely stepping stones on the path to fluency, opportunities for growth rather than reasons to quit. Consistency, even more than intensity, proved to be her secret weapon. Small, regular doses of how to practice English, whether speaking to herself or engaging briefly online, built momentum over time. It wasn't about massive leaps, but about countless tiny, deliberate steps taken every single day, slowly accumulating. She discovered that her brain adapted remarkably, forming new connections as she pushed its boundaries. The initial mental effort of translating thoughts diminished, gradually replaced by direct English formulation. This cognitive shift, from translation to direct thinking, was one of the most exciting developments in her language acquisition. Mia now views mistakes as essential components of the learning process. Each error provides immediate feedback, a chance to refine her understanding and correct her output. This positive reframe of errors liberated her from the fear of imperfection, allowing her to speak more freely and take greater linguistic risks. The power of a personal connection to the language, through British culture for Mia, further deepened her engagement. Choosing a specific accent or dialect to focus on can provide a clearer target and a richer cultural context, making the learning process more immersive and genuinely enjoyable for the learner. Her very interesting story now serves as a blueprint for others. It illustrates that anyone, regardless of their starting point, can achieve significant fluency with the right mindset and consistent effort. The narrative provides tangible evidence of success, making the daunting task of language learning feel more achievable. Mia's journey underscores that authentic communication transcends perfect grammar. It's about expressing thoughts, building rapport, and sharing experiences. While accuracy improves with practice, the courage to speak, even imperfectly, is the most crucial first step in unlocking your true communicative potential in English. So, why you should practice speaking becomes a rallying cry. It's not just an option, it's a necessity for anyone serious about mastering English. Without active production, your passive knowledge remains untapped, leaving you unable to fully participate in the global conversation that English facilitates daily. The transformation from "start talking at home" to "how to talk with anyone" is a testament to the cumulative power of small, consistent actions. Each whispered sentence, each recorded monologue, each hesitant online chat, contributed to the massive leap in her overall linguistic confidence and capability. Her ability to listen and practice evolved into intuitive comprehension, making real-world interactions seamless. She could now follow fast-paced conversations, appreciate diverse accents, and genuinely understand the subtle nuances of spoken English, a far cry from her initial struggles with basic phrases and simple sentences. The realization of how to improve your listening skills, being an active rather than passive pursuit, was pivotal. It transformed her from a listener who occasionally understood to one who actively engaged, deciphering meaning even in challenging contexts. This active approach unlocked deeper layers of comprehension. Mia's commitment to "let's talk in British English" not only gave her a distinct accent but also connected her with a rich cultural tapestry. This specific focus provided a clear goal and helped her immerse herself more fully, making the learning process feel more directed and personally resonant, fueling her motivation. In essence, How to Practice English is less about rigid methods and more about finding your courage to use the language. It's about taking the plunge, making noise, and daring to be imperfect in pursuit of fluent, meaningful communication with others, regardless of your current skill level. Mia's compelling narrative teaches us that the best way to learn is by doing. Don't wait until you feel ready, start now. Your voice is waiting to be heard, and the world is eager to connect with you. The path to fluency begins with that very first spoken word, however small. Embrace the journey, celebrate every small victory, and forgive yourself for every mistake. Language learning is a marathon, not a sprint, and consistency is your most powerful ally. Mia's story proves that dedication and bravery can indeed lead to incredible linguistic breakthroughs and profound personal growth. So, are you ready to write your own, very interesting story? Are you ready to discover how to speak with people, and truly, how to learn English? Start today. Your English voice is waiting to be unleashed, ready to connect you with a world of possibilities and exciting new adventures.